Good afternoon, I'm Shilpa Ratnam and you're watching the afternoon news. Now some very distressing news coming in from Tamil Nadu. After violence erupted during a protest against the death by suicide of a girl at a school premises, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has tweeted saying that the developments in Kallakuruchi are concerning and assured that the guilty will not go unpunished. This after a 12th standard girl died by suicide after she alleged torture by her teachers. Now we're joined by my colleague Purnima Murli with more on this. Purnima, Stalin has asked the Home Secretary and DGP to rush to Kallakuruchi. The protests there are concerning. Buses are being burnt. Those visuals are on our screen. Protests are continuing. Can you tell us what led to this suicide? Was she said in the note? How old was she? And what is the investigation? What are the details coming out of it?
Well, she committed suicide on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, her family members and relatives staged a protest on the highway demanding justice for the girl. The family alleges that there is foul play involved, and therefore there should be a thorough investigation. Since only a case of unnatural death has been registered so far, and no arrests have been made, more than 1,000 people gathered outside the school premises in Kallakuruchi demanding justice for the 12th grade student. And what happened was, when they tried to push through the barricades because of the number of protesters only swelling, the police were not able to control the situation. And some of the protesters, in fact, tried setting the bus on fire, and we've seen dramatic scenes unfold outside the premises. Violence erupted, and police tried to bring the control on the situation, but tense situation continues outside the school gates, where protesters refuse to go, demanding justice. Meanwhile, MK Stalin has, in a tweet, said that they will definitely ensure that the culprits will be punished, and that they should not damage these properties, and they should allow the government, the police, to investigate. And Stalin has assured that all the culprits in this case will be arrested, and that protesters should not indulge in violence. That's the word that's coming in from MK Stalin, even as protests outside the school gate is only intensifying, where we can see dramatic visuals, and those continue for the last 1.5 hours.
Purnima, also the autopsy report is out, but the kin have rejected it. The relatives have said that this report is fake because the autopsy report says there were signs of hemorrhage and shock due to multiple injuries sustained. But the relatives are saying this is wrong. They are, alleging that the girl was tortured and murdered by the school administration. Tell us more about that.
Well, while the postmortem report says that she died because of brain hemorrhage, they want the postmortem to be conducted again. They say that these are mere eyewash, and that in the suicide note, the girl had said, or reportedly said, that because of two teachers forcing her to study, she decided to end her life. So that note was something that was found when the girl had committed suicide, which is why the family alleges foul play and also wants the postmortem to be conducted again, saying that they are trying to cover up the entire incident, and that they want justice for their daughter, which is why you can see protests only swelling outside the school premises, because parents continue to allege that it's a foul play, and the police officials are not conducting a fair investigation. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister assures swift action, and also says that he is sending the DGP to Kallakuruchi immediately and ensure that all the culprits will be punished at the earliest. That's the action that the Tamil Nadu government has promised, even as violence erupted outside the school gates, where more than 1,000 people were trying to push through the barricades and also set the bus on fire, and there were also incidents of stone pelting that happened a little while ago there.
Well, yes, indeed, Purma. Very concerning. 15 buses set alight already, including 3 police vehicles. We will keep an eye on that evolving story. But for now, on to some happier news. It's a big day for India's fight against the COVID pandemic. We have now crossed a major milestone. Over 2 billion crore doses have been administered. The first jab was administered on January 16th, and after 9 months, the 100 crore vaccination was achieved on October 21st. Over 2.75 lakh doses have been administered just today. This big feat was achieved in a period of 18 months. The Prime Minister tweeted to congratulate the people of the nation on this feat.
16 जनवरी 2021 को शुरू हुए कोविड टीकाकरण अभियान ने आज 200 करोड़ टीकाकरण का लक्ष्य पूरा कर लिया है। यह देश और देशवासियों के लिए गौरव की बात है। इतना मुश्किल लक्ष्य हमने मात्र 18 महीने में हासिल कर लिया है। जहां विश्व में कई देश आज भी कोविड महामारी से जूझ रहे हैं, वही भारत ने 200 करोड़ टीके लगाकर ना सिर्फ एक नया कीर्तिमान स्थापित किया है, बल्कि हमने एक नई दिशा भी दिखाई है।
I would like to say that this is a magnificent milestone. India, a magnificent milestone for the world, because we have vaccinated given 200 crore doses to the people of India. And remember, we have achieved this using our own vaccines. We have been Atmanirbhar. This vaccine has reached the every nook and corner of our great nation.
आज हम सब के लिए बहुत ही खुशी का दिन है, सुखद दिन है, सुखद पल है कि आज भारतवर्ष में 200 करोड़ डोजेज का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हो गया है कि किसी भी वैक्सीन को बनने में, देश तक आने में 20-20, 30-30 साल लग जाते थे, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में 9 महीने के अंदर एक नहीं 2-2 डोज, 2-2 वैक्सीन बनाने का काम भारत के साइंटिस्टों ने किया।
Congratulations, India, for administering over 2 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses. This is yet another evidence of the country's commitment and efforts to minimize the impact of the ongoing pandemic.
सर, आप पहले आदमी थे जिसको वैक्सीन लगी थी। कौन सी वैक्सीन थी और आज 200 करोड़ हो गए हैं 18 महीने में, कैसे देखते हैं इसको और क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे आज लोगों को?
ये 16 जैन को मेरे को कोवैक्सीन लगी और उससे पहले मतलब 15 जैन की नाइट तक भी हमारे जितने भी डॉक्टर, फैकल्टी, नर्सिंग स्टाफ जितना था वो सब इतना डरा हुआ था। मैं सैटरडे नाइट मतलब मेरी वाइफ, मेरे सब मतलब मम्मी पापा सब टेंशन में थे कि भाई तू क्यों कर जा रहा है आगे ये वो। तो मैंने अपने पापा को बोला था बस कि किसी चीज़ की शुरुआत तो करनी पड़ेगी ना, जब एक जना करेगा अच्छा हुआ तभी तो लोग फॉलो करेंगे। और आज इस चीज़ को देख के ना और ज़्यादा मतलब अच्छा फील होता है कि मैंने जिस चीज़ की शुरुआत करी आज 200 करोड़ बंदों ने वो चीज़ कर ली। मैंने जाके अपने सर के जो हमारे सीनियर्स थे उनके रूम में जाके बोला कि सर फर्स्ट वैक्सीन मैं लूँगा, तो उन्होंने मेरी पीठ थपथपाई। जो हमारे गुलेरिया सर थे, पी कुमार सर थे, उन्होंने बोला यार बड़ा ब्रेव लड़का है, ये खुद से आगे आके कह रहा है कि मैं लगवाऊंगा, चलो इसी को ही लगवाते। मतलब उन्होंने नाम अनाउंस कर दिया कि मनीष कुमार को पहली डोज लगी।
मतलब लगभग 18 महीनों में ये 200 करोड़ का वैक्सीनेशन एक सक्सेस ड्राइव जो भारत ने अचीव किया है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। और ये हमारे लिए नहीं लेकिन विश्व में आज भारत ने एक अलग दिशा में अपनी अनोखी पहचान बनाई है। सबसे तेज़ वैक्सीनेशन, कोविड वैक्सीनेशन में भारत ने इतिहास रचा है। इस बात का मुझे बहुत बहुत गर्व है, मुझे इस बात की खुशी है। मैं पुनः एक बार सभी को धन्यवाद देती हूँ।
Yashwant Sinha, who is a joint opposition candidate for the presidential polls, has written a letter to all the members ahead of the presidential election. In his letter, he yet again attacks NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu, saying she will just be a rubber stand protecting Prime Minister Modi. Now we're joined by Kamalika Sengupta with more on this. Kamalika, the joint opposition candidate there, Yashwant Sinha, fiercely defending himself, fighting for the seat, also saying that Draupadi Murmu will not be able to protect the constitution, that she's just going to be a rubber stamp president who will not have a say of her own.
And that's what the letter totally reflects. His writing totally reflects, and the fact that it is not easy game for him to win this election. So there, the last letter which he has written clearly reflects various aspects, of which this aspect is a very important aspect, where he has said that they are trying to show that though BJP has projected Draupadi Murmu, they are trying to sell the point that she is a Dalit, she is a tribal person, she is a woman. On the other hand, it is a token thing, and in actual ground reality, there is nothing called, they are not for the tribals. And also, in his letter, he has referred to the constitution and has said that the republic should be used for the appeasement of any section of society. That is not there. So that thing he has also pointed out, that it was never the intention or purpose of the great makers of our constitution that the highest office of the republic should be used for the appeasement of any section of our society. That's a very important and interesting remark which he has made, and he has also made his appeal to the BJP electorate, to the BJP legislators, and he has said that even tomorrow when they go for vote, they should think that whose BJP it is. They should think of, he's trying to put forward that it's a fight of ideology. It's not a fight between a section of people, two sections. It's a fight of ideology, and he is the protector of democracy, and his government is not, is undemocratic. These things he is trying to bring in, which he has gone and said to all the states. But now, in terms of numbers, it's very difficult for Yashwant Sinha to win, and obviously this tribal card is there on the BJP hands, in the hands of BJP. So, last appeal which he has done, indeed, it has covered all the points like, this is a fight of ideology, not a fight of anything else. He has pointed out appeasement of a section of people there where it is very interesting.
Well, yes, indeed, Kamalika, the opposition candidate, they're not giving up without a fight, but in all likelihood, it will be NDA's pick, that is Draupadi Murmu, who will win, and the presidential polls will be tomorrow. Now, moving on to Delhi, in fact. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, urging the centre to give clearance for his visit to Singapore for the World Cities Summit. In his letter, the Delhi CM alleged that it is against the interest of the country to stop a Chief Minister from visiting such an important stage. This invitation is a matter of pride and honour for the country. CNN News 18 has accessed this letter by Kejriwal. Now we're joined by Rupashri Nanda with more on this. Do detail what the rest of the letter says for us, and also what is the reason given for not letting Kejriwal go to Singapore?
Well, the letter clearly mentions that the Chief Minister has received an invitation from the government of Singapore to visit Singapore and present that or showcase the Delhi model of development. And the Chief Minister himself has actually written to the central government asking for clearance of the file on 7th of June itself. And the letter has been pending. There has been no response at all from the central government. The Chief Minister also says that it is a matter of pride and honor for the country to be able to present a model that is already, according to him, being discussed across the world. He makes a special mention of the Delhi model of development, which includes provisions like, or reforms in health and education, free electricity, travel, etc. The Chief Minister also reminds the Prime Minister that when the latter was the Chief Minister of Gujarat and he had wanted to visit America, America had denied him a visa, and that step by America was not appreciated by people in the country. That step was actually criticized across the country, and the then Chief Minister Modi had actually got a lot of support, he says in the letter, from the country. And as the Prime Minister now, when the central government has denied him permission, then it is against the interest of the country itself. The Chief Minister also says that political differences are all welcome as far as they are contained, as they are practiced within the country, but outside the country, the national interest of the country should be above political interest. And he has requested the Prime Minister to intervene in this manner and allow him to go to Singapore. And the date for the same is on the 1st of August. And remember, this has been an issue which has been also pending. We have reported on it earlier also, that the file has been stuck with the Lieutenant Governor's office, and that there has been no word on it, and the file has not been cleared yet. Now it remains to be seen whether the file is going to be cleared and whether the Chief Minister will get the requisite go-ahead from the central government in order to travel to Singapore to present the Delhi model on the 1st of August.
Well, yes, indeed, Draupadi, will keep coming back to you. Kejriwal there waiting for permission for his visit to Singapore. And some great news in sports right now. Badminton star PV Sindhu won the women's singles title at the Singapore Open 2022 BWF Super 500 tournament after beating Chinese shuttler Wang Ziyi in the finals. The two-time Olympic medalist beat Wang Ziyi 21-9, 11-21 and 21-15. This is Sindhu's third title of 2022, having won the Syed Modi International and the Swiss Open BWF Super 300 titles back in January and March respectively. Prime Minister Modi has congratulated PV Sindhu on winning her first ever Singapore Open title. She has yet again demonstrated her exceptional sporting talent and achieved success. It is a proud moment for the country and will also give inspiration to upcoming players, is what he has said. Now we're joined by Maria Shakil on the phone, our political editor, with more on this. Maria, a great winning streak for Sindhu there. She will also be heading to Birmingham end of this month to compete. But it's not been an easy journey for her so far. But Prime Minister Modi there always extending his support as he has for all sports persons.
Yes, that's right. And we have seen that push that has come from the Prime Minister at a very, very personal level as well, where he calls up players, and Mithali Raj, famously the former Indian cricket team captain, women's team captain, she had said that India lost the match, and the Prime Minister called them up and spoke to them saying that how you have won hearts. So I think that personal connect becomes important even right now when PV Sindhu, of course, has made that phenomenal victory by winning her first ever Singapore Open title. But the Prime Minister saying that this is a proud moment for the country, and also this gives inspiration to upcoming players. You know, the series of victories that India has had on the sporting arena, our Olympic medal tally has gone up phenomenally, and the Paralympians have done us proud as well. So I think the push that is coming right from the Prime Minister himself and top of government officials and the support that is being given by the political leadership of the country becomes important and crucial in that context.
Thank you very much, Maria. PM Modi there constantly pushing Khelo India. Now for a look at the top stories making headlines today. RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav has criticized the NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu. He said that the Rashtrapati Bhavan needs a president, not a statue, and that people have never heard Draupadi Murmu say anything.
हम लोगों को राष्ट्रपति भवन में कोई मूर्ति तो नहीं चाहिए, हम लोग राष्ट्रपति का चुनाव। आपने कभी यशवंत सिन्हा जी को तो हर जगह आपने सुना होगा, लेकिन जो सत्ता पक्ष से जो उम्मीदवार दी गई, हालांकि छोटी मुंह बड़ी बात बोलनी नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन हमने कभी नहीं सुना और हमको नहीं लगता कि आप लोगों ने भी उनकी आवाज को सुना होगा। एक भी प्रेस वार्ता जब से उम्मीदवार बनी है, एक भी प्रेस वार्ता नहीं किया।
Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, said that there used to be mutual respect between the government and the opposition earlier, but the opposition's pace was now diminishing. A strong parliamentary democracy demands strengthening the opposition as well. He added that laws were now being passed without detailed deliberation and scrutiny.
The accountability forms the core principle of democracy. There used to be a lot of mutual respect between the government and the opposition. Unfortunately, the space for opposition is diminishing. We are witnessing laws being passed without detailed deliberation and scrutiny. Instead of engaging in a meaningful debates for furthering democracy, politics has become acronymous.
CJI of India, N.V. Ramana, on Saturday also called for steps to address the grave issue of the high number of under-trial prisoners that is affecting the criminal justice system. N.V. Ramana said there is a need to question procedures that lead to prolonged incarceration without any trial. Out of 6 lakh prisoners in the country, nearly 80% are under-trial prisoners, and lamented that in the criminal justice system, the process is a punishment.
A grave issue affecting our criminal justice system is the high population of under trials in our prisons. Out of 6.10 lakhs prisoners in India, around 80% are under trial prisoners. Efforts like the release UTRC at 75 brings back the spotlight on the necessity of continuously reviewing the existing under trials for their faster release.
Pakistani drone was spotted in Zinda area of Pathankot at the Punjab international border. 46 rounds are fired at the Pakistani drone. The drone is said to have gone back to the Pakistani side. Forces have launched searches in the area. A Pakistani drone was spotted in Manguchak area of Samba international border. It was flying from Chachwal to Manguchak area of Samba. Drone spotted for around 15 minutes at a height of 300 meters. Security forces to launch searches today in the area. Indigo Sharjah Hyderabad flight was diverted to Pakistan's Karachi after the pilot reported technical defect in the aircraft, which is being examined at the airport. The airline is planning to send another aircraft to Karachi. This is the second Indian airline to make a landing in Karachi in 2 weeks. India and China are currently holding the 16th round of Corps Commander talks at Moldo today. The talks have begun on the Indian side at Chushul Moldo meeting point. The 16th round of talks comes as a part of efforts by both the nations to take forward the stalled process of disengagement and de-escalation in the eastern Ladakh region. A group of at least 15 assailants allegedly attacked a 15-year-old boy inside the emergency ward of the civil hospital in Ludhiana with a sharp-edged weapon, killing him. As per the FIR, the incident occurred in the presence of doctors, nurses and patients when the group of assailants carrying swords and axes in their hands attacked the youth. A crude bomb blast has killed 2 people and has left 1 injured in Manikchak area of Malda. The injured person has been taken to the hospital. Huge police force is deployed in the area and the bomb disposal squad is rushing to the spot. Row over protests in Karnataka. The CFI Girls Conference in Mangalore staged a protest against harassment of Muslim girls and discrimination based on their attire. Hundreds of girls took part in the town hall conference in Mangalore and shouted slogans demanding the end to the saffronization at education institutions. Wildfires rage in parts of France and Spain, forcing thousands to flee from their homes as blistering summer temperatures put authorities on alert in many parts of Europe. The nearly week-long heat wave has caused 360 heat-related deaths, according to figures from the Carlos III Health Institute. In Britain, the National Weather Forecaster has issued its first red extreme heat warning for parts of England on Monday and Tuesday.
5 districts across the country are still under a red warning for weather. That means that temperatures there could go as high up as 40 degrees Celsius, and that coupled with rising winds from the east as well as with low humidity, a result of various consecutive days with high temperatures and dry weather, that could spark additional forest fires. Portugal battling dozens of those in the past week alone. There are other health concerns. Officials here hear say that people like the elderly, like children, others with chronic illnesses are more prone, more vulnerable to these conditions.
Commuters in London have been advised not to use the city's transport network unless for essential journeys amid a sweltering heat wave across Western Europe. The UK Met Office has issued an extreme heat warning from Sunday through Tuesday as temperatures will likely surpass the country's 2019 record temperature of 38.7 degrees Celsius. India will play against England in the third and final one-day international match at Manchester today. The three-match series stands level at 1-1. The first ODI was won by the Indian side by 10 wickets. However, England stormed back with a comprehensive win in the second ODI by 100 runs. Young Indian Grandmaster Pragnanand has won the Paris Open A Chess Tournament 2022 in Serbia yesterday, scoring 8 points from 9 rounds. The 16-year-old remained unbeaten and finished half a point ahead of the field. Chennai's Napier Bridge painted like a chessboard ahead of the Olympiad. The 44th Fied Chess Olympiad is set to start on July 28th in Chennai's Mahabalipuram, and ahead of that, a video from the city's Napier Bridge painted like a chessboard has gone viral on social media. And with that, it's a wrap on the show. But news and updates continue right here, so stay tuned.